You know, when you watch a boxing match, you see the bright lights, you hear the bell, you see the winner's hand get raised. But what you don't see are the months of pure grind that got those two fighters into that ring. So, what does it really take, not just physically, but mentally, to step through those ropes for the very first time? All right, so let's jump in a time machine and go back to 2014. I was 31 years old, had been boxing for over a year, and I was about to find out what this sport is really all about. This isn't going to be some glossy highlight reel, okay? This is the real deal, the raw, unfiltered diary entries of my journey. It's all part of the story we're building here at Strength Foundation. So you know how it is. You're training, you're hitting the bags, you're doing the drills, and then one day it all changes. For me, that day was in February 2014. All of a sudden, that vague idea of fighting someday became a very real date on my calendar, March 8th. And let me tell you, training wasn't just for getting in shape anymore. Oh no, this was for a real fight. Man, reading this entry now, I can still feel that shock to my system. You can shadow box for hours, but nothing, and I mean nothing, prepares you for that moment you realize there's another person out there training just as hard as you are, with one single goal: to beat you. The whole game just flips on its head right then and there.
Okay, so a fight camp, it's really a war on two fronts, right? You've got the physical battle. That's the obvious one, pushing your body to its absolute breaking point day in and day out. But then there's the other battle, the one that's a lot quieter and honestly a lot tougher. The war that goes on between your ears.
Listen, here's the first thing you have to accept about a fight camp. Your body is going to break down. It just is. It's part of the deal. You're literally tearing yourself down to build yourself back up, stronger. But, it's one thing to understand that idea and a whole other thing to actually live it. I remember writing this one. It was a Tuesday. I had sparring, 2 full workouts, plus cardio and sauna time. And that wasn't a special day, you guys. That was just Tuesday. That feeling of being completely fried, that just becomes your new normal. You literally learn how to function while being completely exhausted. I mean, it just takes over your entire life. Your whole day revolves around training. You're constantly sore. I think my ribs were bruised for like a month straight. And then, on top of all that, you're cutting weight. So you're hungry, you're in a calorie deficit, but you're asking your body to perform at its peak. It is a brutal combination.
But look, as hard as all that physical stuff is, the mental game is where fighters are really made. Your body is screaming, stop, please just stop. But your mind, that's what has to step in and say, nope, we're doing one more round. We're getting through one more day.
Yeah, this quote, it really nails the central conflict of being a fighter, doesn't it? That relentless inner voice, that drive, that need to be perfect. It's the engine that pushes you forward, but it's also the thing that can absolutely chew you up and spit you out if you don't get a handle on it. This was a huge lesson for me during that first camp. I realized all my grit and determination was actually making me sloppy and impulsive. The real goal, the thing that separates the good from the great, is composure. It's learning to stay calm, to think when you're exhausted and getting hit, and to be a smart, polished boxer, not just a tough person who can throw a punch. All right, so now we're getting into the final weeks, and let me tell you, this is when it gets intense. It's like a pressure cooker. The pain, the self-doubt, the focus, everything is just turned up to 11. Every single thing you do matters. Okay, 15 days to go. I'm deep in it now. My diary literally says sore as shit always. Haha, yep. Training twice a day, my Achilles were on fire, my ribs felt like they were in a vice. You're living in this state of constant managed pain, with your eyes locked on that finish line. And this was a major breakthrough for me. I realized that sparring isn't about feeling amazing and dominating every second. It's about learning how to fight when you're dead tired. It's about forging that mental toughness, knowing that even when you feel like crap, you can still stick to a plan, you can still be smart, you can still win. 1 week to go. This is it. Fight week. All the hard work is done, right? The hay is in the barn, as they say. The heavy sparring is over. Now it's a completely different kind of battle. It's all about getting your mind right, making that final weight cut, and shutting out every single distraction. This right here, this becomes your anthem. You say it to yourself over and over. Because at this point, it's not about who's more skilled. It's about who wants it more. It's about pure will. It's a promise you make to yourself that no matter what, Your heart and your grit will see you through.
And this is so true. The fight isn't just something you do at the gym anymore. It lives with you. It's the first thing you think about when you wake up and the last thing on your mind when you try to sleep. It's just this constant buzz of adrenaline and nerves humming away inside your chest 24/7. This entry was from the night before the fight. We all have those voices, right? The demons of doubt, of fear, of exhaustion. This was me looking them straight in the eye and making one final promise to myself. No matter what happens tomorrow, you will not beat me. My own mind was not going to be the thing that defeated me. And then, just like that, it was here. March 8th, fight night. After all the sacrifice, all the pain, it was time. The moment of truth. So, I won. I won my first fight, unanimous decision. The feeling, honestly, there are no words for it. Pure elation. But the actual performance? Well, let's just say that's a whole different story. Looking back now, with my coach's hat on, I can see it all so clearly. It's almost funny. Everything my coach told me not to do, I did. The adrenaline hit and poof, my game plan went right out the window. I got wild, I loaded up on every punch, and I gassed myself out. And you know what's crazy? Even after they raised my hand, my very first thought was, man, I messed up so much. That's the fighter's curse for you. Never satisfied. Don't get me wrong, winning felt amazing, but the win, that's not the real trophy. The real prize is everything you learn about yourself on the way there. The fight itself is just the final exam. The real learning happens in the classroom of a grueling fight camp. Because really, a fight camp is just a crash course in confronting your own internal chaos. All of it. The frustration, the fear, the ego. You can't run from it. You have to look it in the eye and learn how to manage it. The real win is finding that pocket of calm right in the middle of the storm. And that's a skill that serves you long after you hang up the gloves. Trust me. And this might be the most important lesson of all. It is so easy to wrap up your entire identity, your whole sense of self-worth in how you perform. But you have to learn to separate who you are from what you do. A bad day in the gym, a loss in the ring, that doesn't define your value as a person. It just means you're human. It means you're in the arena, learning and growing. So, there you have it. The story of my first fight. The one that laid the groundwork for everything that followed. But that was just the beginning. Getting that first win at 31 is one thing. But what happens when you hit your 40s and decide you're not done yet, that you want to go pro? Well, that, my friends, is a whole other kind of fight.